Barbarian has become the new necromancer, doing billions of damage with summons, and it doesn't even need a single mythical item to do that. And the gameplay loop is so much fun. You call your ancients, walk into the enemy, then rupture, cooldown reduction, rupture, cooldown reduction, shouts, rupture, cooldown reduction, and that's it. Now your ancients are out there doing billions of damage. You keep walking on, shout in between, rupture, full cooldown, shouts, rupture, full cooldown. You see where this is going. That was a 15.3 billion there. Then pull everyone together with your vortex rune. Yep, works really good for this one. Then rupture, cooldown, and this works on every piece of content. And the damage is pretty much coming from your ancients, from your summons. There is so many ways to actually boost their damage, and especially so many convenient ways that don't need you to crazy triple masterwork. Nah, you just need to hit a few stat goals, you need to get the right unique items, and this build is playable from level 1 on all the way to Torment 4. Because yes, I leveled with this, I then put the uniques together, and then we dominated all the way into Torment 4. And before I see the age-old question in the comments, how does it do against Torment 4 bosses? Summon your ancients, don't get slapped, then rupture, cooldown reduction, ancients, rupture, cooldown reduction, ancients, rupture, yells, ancients, cooldown reduction, and he's dead. Don't even have to keep doing anything, he just dies. Now, what do we need to make this work? And how much damage versus close, damage while berserking, and all these things do we have to hit to boost everything to the max? Especially the Beastmaster's training, which gives us another 150% damage to our summons. And our summons is the main name of the game. The Call of the Ancients have the summon tag now, and there was a change to summons. They now get everything. Before, minions only get everything I was doing. Now the summons are getting all my attack speed, all my critical strike chance, all my critical strike, everything I am getting, the summons are getting too. Now you've seen me spam my rupture, and that's usually a cooldown skill. This is why you want the first item, the third blade. This comes from Infernal Horde or Obol Gambling. Your weapon mastery skills are now core skills that have 100% cooldown reduction but cost fury. Okay, cool. We can now spam rupture, and the rupture bleeds everyone around us. If you pair this together with a Rage of Harrogeth, inflicting bleeding on an enemy has up to a 60% chance to reduce cooldowns of your skills by 1 second. We're spamming the rupture, we're bleeding everyone, we're reducing the cooldowns. But it's a lucky hit, and rupture's lucky hit now is 107%. The basic lucky hit is actually 54, and 50% of the times, 60% chance. That's not a lot. This is why we're playing the Fists of Fate. I have a greater affix on lucky hit. You want to at least have 50% lucky hit Fist of Fate. This then brings you up to 100% lucky hit chance. That means in 100% of the cases, every single hit, we have a 60% chance to reduce the cooldown. That's always. That, like you saw it, rupture, boom, instant cooldown reduction on Call of the Ancients. Now you do want to get the Call of the Ancients cooldown as low as possible. For this, we have the temper on our rings to bring it down to that 9.5, and you get Ariad's Bearing. Ariad's Bearing is the second most important item. Yes, we do need the cooldown reduction here, but with Ariad's Bearing, without this, it wouldn't work. Because the bearing reads, your ancients are empowered. Core Lake makes earthquakes. These earthquakes, they scale with everything I do. If I have an aspect to scale it, the earthquake does more damage. For example, the Executioner's aspect, where Earthquake gets another 200% bonus damage. If my Earthquakes get 92% bonus damage with the Earthquake aspect, that counts too for whatever Core Lake does. Great. Then Talik makes Dust Devils, and they scale with everything I do for Dust Devils and all my summon damage. This 150% summon damage, that scales the Earthquakes because the summons get everything I get, and so on. These pens also give you 74.7% cooldown reduction to really bring you as low as possible to the 9.5. It doesn't go below 9.5. And now that we talked about the Earthquakes, you have a double scaling from Heavy Hitter. Heavy Hitter currently has 25 ranks. That's not actually a lot. It can go up to 37 all the way. Your ultimate skills, Earthquakes and Dust Devils, deal 400% more damage. This is a double scaling because the ultimate skills, the Call of the Ancients, will do more damage. And then the earthquakes will do more damage as well. That's the double scaling that you're giving the Ariad's Bearing. Ariad's Bearing is dropping from Lord Zur. This is dropping from the Beast Device. The Rage of Harrogeth is coming from Gregoire the Galvanic Saint. And then lastly, we have the Ugly Bastard's Helmet. This has me do 100% more fire damage, which does actually scale. Madog ignites the earth, burning enemies. Yep, that does fire damage, so that gets scaled as well. But we're also getting Prolific Fury and Aggressive Resistance, plus the Lucky Hit Fire Explosions. Prolific Fury in this case would be while Berserking, we get more Fury generation, and we do actually need this, while Aggressive Resistance is more damage reduction while Berserking. That's also good. But the Fury generation is rather important, because our Rupture costs 55 Fury. That's expensive. I do one single Rupture amount of Fury. So how do we now get our resource back? For this, we're playing the rune combo called Temlum. Cast a non-channel core skill, restore 17 primary resource. But with the Fury generation that I get from all the respective skills, I will sit at a grand total of 100% bonus Fury generation. 115 actually. This brings me up to, instead of 17, 34 resource. I press the button, I restore this amount of resource. And then my one weapon also has a lucky hit chance to restore resource. It's only 15%, but with 107% lucky hit chance, it's guaranteed to almost always happen. With these two together, I never run out of resource and I can spam it against bosses. That Ugly Bastard's Helmet is also dropping from Lord Zur, which is fantastic because we get to farm Lord Zur anyways for then 2 items. Now in order to scale the damage, you need the Executioner's Aspect. Your overpowers will spawn an earthquake every 4 seconds, which means that our Rupture spawns earthquakes because Rupture does overpower. Keep that in mind, Rupture does overpower. This will come in very handy with the Paragon board. Okay, we're now making earthquakes, cool. And then my earthquakes get more damage the more strength I have. Problem here is I need 4,000 strength. And this is why you need greater affix strength weapons. This has greater affix strength, this doesn't, this doesn't. I need those and I would sit at 4,000. I don't have those yet. Second aspect is the earthquake aspect, where we're getting another 92% bonus damage. Cool. And while standing in earthquakes and for 4 seconds afterwards, we deal another 92% increased bonus damage. We're not done yet, because you also have something to scale summon damage. Your summons deal 33% bonus damage, Ancestral Echoes, and on top of that, my summons deal with Ancestral Charge, another 35% bonus damage. You remember the double dipping? Make the summon stronger, make the earthquake stronger, super double wobble. Then we'll increase our damage as we're casting ultimates, and we're always casting ultimates with Vehement Brawler. And most importantly, we have Apogeic Furor, which has our ultimate damage increase up to 135x total. On the amulet, by the way, you need a greater affix strength. Non-negotiable. And keep in mind that attack speed on your amulet and rings, that attack speed goes over to your ancients, because they get everything we're getting. If you have a triple greater affix Fist of Fate or a maximum attack speed Fist of Fate, that will come in extremely handy. Fist of Fate, by the way, great source of vulnerable. Now we'll get to the tempers in a second. I first want to go through the skill tree and show the Paragon because that matters for the tempers greatly. In the skill tree, we get 12% more damage after overpowering. Our Rupture always overpowers. We have our basic attacks increase our damage by 12%, which means that every now and then, or if you engage into a mob pack, you can start with the lunging strikes, Ancients, Rupture, Ancients, Ancients, Ancients. Boom. Then you're done with the pack. Because you lunge in 12%, then you Rupture 12%, Ancients, Ancients. Simple. You get your Rallying Cry for bonus resource generation, and it's kind of always up. Challenging Shout, and then also the War Cry for the Berserking. The Berserking from the War Cry we maintain over the Relentless Berserker's Aspect, which says that my core skills have a lucky hit chance to extend Berserking. Good, that's fantastic, and if it was a crit then, it's double. We're always spamming Rupture. Rupture is a core skill now because of the third blade. That's how we extend our berserking. Do make sure to boost your shouts like crazy because you're using them left, right, and center. Then we get the rupture. And funnily, the rupture also increases our attack speed by 40%. That 40% goes over to your summons. Put all your points in the Call of Ancients, as many heavy hitters as possible. And then we're also playing Unconstrained, which makes our berserking damage bonus bigger. And it gives us a bonus damage reduction if needed. And that 1 point into Invigorating Fury kinda helps you to stay alive. To the Paragon board and pay very close attention here. Wrathglyph for more critical strike damage. We need this Wrathglyph for a lot of critical strike damage, as this makes the summon go up. You need a certain amount of crit damage. As stats on your weapon, 180% critical strike damage, 136% critical strike damage. This one doesn't have it. But with these stats and the glyph, 150% assured. No crit tempering needed. Then we move into the Blood Rage board. Blood Rage needs damage while berserking. For this, you have up here the Hieroglyph that gives you more damage while berserking. Okay, that's great. You do also have damage while berserking roaming around. And then we get the damage while berserking tempers. Make sure to hit 450% for the maximum bonus. For this, it's helpful to just get the maximum bonus on your two-handed weapon. That's 203 possible percent. I'm missing actually plus 50 here, which forces me to temper another time damage while berserking on my ring. That's a problem, and I'll get to that. The rune we're playing here is Rumble, with a bonus of 100 strength. This increases our earthquake damage, and our earthquake damage gets multiplied up hardcore. Then we go into the next board with a Bone Breaker. Every 12 seconds we get an overpower, and if we overpower, my ultimate skills deal more damage. We always overpower. Always spam Rupture, get more overpower. This also has the Challenger glyph to boost our strength further. I pick up as much strength as I can to pretty much reach that 4,000 strength. Still not there yet. Next board, Decimator. Each time you make an enemy vulnerable, which we do with the gloves, 20%, and if we overpower, another 20%. Haha, 40% more damage. Good. Together with that Hieroglyph we talked about. If I have more points, I could also get more damage while berserking here. Then we move into the Force of Nature board. And here my Earthquakes get another 200% damage bonus. But for this, we need damage to close enemies. We're also playing the Executioner glyph here for more damage with polearms. And while wielding a polearm, you deal more damage. This works plenty well as we wield a polearm rupturing. That's another 15% bonus damage, or 20 in total, which goes over to our summons as well. For the damage to close, we need 500%, and I only have 419. But this is so easy to reach. I got the damage to close on my weapon, and I'm missing a plus 30 here. And then again, because my damage while berserking tempers are so shitty, I was forced to take damage while berserking on the ring. Now, if I replace this through damage while close, and then actually get a better damage to close roll here, and a better, this one is actually fine. We're sitting at the 500% easily for that maximum multiplier. Now let's get to the bread and butter though, and that's Heavy Hitter. Your ultimate skills deal more damage. This is everything. Every rank is 15% more damage. And for this, you need the Heavy Hitter tempers on your weapon. And optimally, you would triple masterwork this. But throw an eye on what I have. I do 15 up to 20 billion damage. I got a double masterworked heavy hitter. I got a single masterworked heavy hitter and a single masterworked heavy hitter. Alone this is another 12, 22 ranks. And we're slaying 15 billion, 20 billion damage. You don't even need a double masterworked. You don't even need a triple masterworked. But if you want to do the maximum up to 100 billion, right? That's where you would have to go all the way. For your Merc, you can choose Variana, because Variana will give us more attack speed, and that more attack speed goes also over to our summons as well. And then I like to use Rahir with Provoke for even more damage reduction. Now you can see my armor being only 635, and my resistances being rather shoddy. This would be different if my Ariat's Bearing Pants did not have the low roll on elemental resistance, and I would make sure to masterwork it. That's how you get it up. If my boots had an armor roll, that would instantly get my armor up. That's it. I just need these two items to be better, and we got it solved. For boss powers, we're using Grix's Lightning Square to spam our core skill and then go vop, 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 vop. On top, you want to have Lilith Winds of Hate. You need this. Why? Lilith Winds of Hate will spawn the 2 blood blisters in a boss fight. And if we then rupture, we also rupture the Winds of Hate blood blisters, which then gives us more cooldown reduction for Call of Ancients, that we can then spam it better against single targets. You need the Beastmaster's training, and since I really suck with critical strike chance, I play Hatred's Embraced Haste for that 50% bonus. Lastly, I might have not mentioned it, but there's a polearm needed as your weapon, and the polearm is needed to use your rupture. For the lunging strike, you can do the dual wield to do it faster. Your Executioner's Mace is pretty much just hanging around. Now the final trick, because Barbarian doesn't have anything to pull things together. And that's where we're using the rune combo called Pock Cry. Spend 300% of your maximum resource, and then invoke the Spiritsborn Vortex skill dealing damage and pulling in enemies. Cool. I spam my rupture. It costs 55 fury. We restore this right away. But I pretty much just have to use the rupture 6 times, and we already vortex peoples in. And that's the thing. We're doing nothing else but rupture, ancestrals, ruptures, ancestral, rupture, 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 ancestrals, rupture, rupture, rupture. Like, you could just stand there and spam ruptures if you already have the maximum number of 12 ancients out. Easy. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you say? Could I convince you to give Barbarian Summoner a try? Because it is absolutely mental. Thank you very much for watching. If you're now looking for a trick for more mythics and reputation, enjoy and have a fantastic good day.